The former CEO of clothing retailer Abercrombie & Fitch has been arrested on federal sex trafficking and interstate prostitution charges. Mike Jeffries, his partner, and a third associate are accused of recruiting young men under the guise of modeling opportunities and coercing them to perform sex acts. The indictment claims the sex trafficking happened from 2008 through 2015. Our partners at BBC News reported on some of the allegations last year, and one alleged victim who filed a class action lawsuit spoke about their experience. He's part of what he told the BBC.
80-year-old Michael Jeffries, former CEO of Abercrombie & Fitch, looked calm wearing a navy pullover sweater and white pants, leaving federal court surrounded by his lawyers after the judge ruled he could go free on bond while fighting his sex trafficking charges. Prosecutors agree with his lawyers on a $10 million bond secured by a house he co-owns with his wife in Fishers Island, New York.
Live, a judge has denied bail for Sean Diddy Combs. Of course, this was the hip-hop mogul's latest bid for freedom as he remains in federal jail for his racketeering and sex trafficking case. The producer and rapper has pleaded not guilty to racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and prostitution charges. Combs was previously denied bail back in September as well.
Diddy Combs accused of throwing former Abercrombie & Fitch CEO under the bus. It looks like the dramatic Mike Jeffries, former CEO of Abercrombie & Fitch, also has some baby oil on him. While Diddy may have had a brother in crime, a recent court judgment has separated them, to the displeasure of affected individuals and netizens who are asking why Jeffries deserves bail and Diddy doesn't. Well, is there something we're missing? If you recall, Mike Jeffries, often described as more than just a brand leader, made Abercrombie synonymous with a particular image. Shirtless male models greeting customers, spritzing cologne on passersby, and a deliberately curated sense of exclusivity. One of Jeffries' most controversial decisions was to limit the availability of women's clothing in larger sizes. While Abercrombie offered extra large and double extra large for men, those sizes were conspicuously absent from the women's line. His justification? It was all about aspiration. In his own words, "We hire good-looking people in our stores because good-looking people attract other good-looking people. We market to cool, good-looking people. We don't want to market to anyone other than that. In every school, there are cool kids and popular kids. And then there are not-so-cool kids. Candidly, we go after the cool kids. We go after the attractive, all-American kid with a great attitude and a lot of friends. A lot of people don't belong in our clothes, and they can't belong. Are we exclusionary? Absolutely." Jeffries went further, criticizing brands that tried to appeal to everyone and describing them as totally vanilla. According to him, targeting a broad audience meant alienating no one but failing to excite anyone. These remarks sparked outrage when they resurfaced in a viral interview, igniting a massive boycott against Abercrombie & Fitch. The backlash reached its peak when a YouTuber responded with a provocative campaign of his own. In a widely shared video, the creator purchased Abercrombie clothes from thrift stores and handed them out to people experiencing homelessness on Skid Row.
Abercrombie & Fitch is a terrible company. Their CEO insists on only hiring attractive people. In addition, he has made a point of refusing to sell extra large or extra large clothing to women because he doesn't want larger women wearing his clothes. To make matters worse, when clothing is damaged, instead of donating it to the poor or unfortunate, they burn them. Abercrombie & Fitch only wants a certain kind of person to be wearing their clothes. Today, we're going to change their brand.
His goal? To rebrand Abercrombie as the go-to apparel for those without homes. He urged his audience to donate their Abercrombie items to shelters and use the hashtag Fits for the Homeless to spread the message. It's been over 10 years and Jeffries is on the news again for a more controversial issue. And it looks like he got his hands dipped in Diddy's baby oil. A federal indictment filed in the Eastern District of New York accuses Jeffries and his associates, former CEO Matthew Smith and recruiter James Jacobson, of running an international trafficking and prostitution ring from 2008 to 2015. According to prosecutors, Jeffries used his position of power to lure young men some as young as 19, into coercive sexual acts under the guise of casting opportunities for Abercrombie. During a press conference announcing the arrests, prosecutors issued a chilling warning.
We're here today to announce the arrest and charging of 3 defendants. Former CEO of Abercrombie Fitch, Michael Jeffries, Matthew Smith, and James Jacobson, on charges of sex trafficking and engaging in interstate prostitution. Powerful individuals for too long have trafficked and abused for their own sexual pleasure young people with few resources and a dream of securing a successful career in fashion or entertainment. To anyone who thinks they can exploit and coerce others by using the so-called casting couch system, this case should serve as a warning. Prepare to trade that couch for a bed in federal prison. The message from today's prosecution is clear. Sexually exploiting vulnerable human beings is a crime, and doing so by dangling dreams of a future in fashion or modeling or any other business is no different.
The indictment includes allegations that men were subjected to non-consensual and harmful practices, including injections of a prescription-grade erectile-inducing substance. These injections, allegedly administered without medical oversight, caused severe physical reactions, forcing victims into compliance. Other claims describe the use of high-pressure enemas, which prosecutors noted could cause life-threatening injuries, including intestinal tears. Among the claims in the indictment is an account from a man named Luke, who described an unsettling encounter arranged under the pretense of a photo shoot. Expecting a professional setting, Luke instead found himself in a dimly lit hotel suite staged to resemble an Abercrombie store, complete with folding assistants in branded uniforms. He alleged that Jefferies and Smith later emerged, touching him without consent and pressuring him into sexual acts. Another man, identified as Milk, Mike, recounted a harrowing experience about the Queen Mary 2, a luxury cruise liner sailing from England to New York. Believing he was there for a modeling opportunity, John alleged that Jefferies repeatedly made advances, even attempting to insert a bleeding finger into him. "I was crying on the inside," he shared, "stuck in the middle of the ocean with a man 4 times my age, belittling me simply because I said no." He was paid $24,000 for his troubles. One particularly salaciously allegation involved a video reportedly circulating among Abercrombie employees. The footage allegedly showed Jefferies snorting cocaine off a man's genitals, further highlighting a culture of debauchery that many believe extended to the corporate office. These allegations, coupled with the earlier controversies surrounding Abercrombie's exclusionary policies, paint a grim picture of Jefferies' leadership. His downfall comes at a time when high-profile cases like those of Jeffrey Epstein and Diddy have brought renewed scrutiny to powerful figures exploiting their influence. Some netizens speculate that the timing of Jeffrey's arrest is no coincidence, pointing to similarities in modus operandi between his alleged crimes and those of other disgraced individuals. Though Jeffrey stepped down as CEO in 2014, the timing of his arrest has raised questions. Did it take years for victims to come forward? Were authorities building a more robust case? Or as some speculate, does the case's timing tie into broader crackdowns on systemic exploitation in elite circles, like Diddy's case? Jefferies was also accused of hosting private events at his $30 million Hamptons mansion, allegedly inviting aspiring male models for what staff described as strange gatherings. According to employees, they were required to vacate the premises every Saturday between 11 o'clock a.m. and 6 o'clock p.m., raising suspicions about what transpired during these hours, the same way people have been concerned about what it's been like at Diddy's parties. One of the most troubling aspects of A&F's business model was its discriminatory hiring practices. Former employees revealed that staff were referred to as models, allowing the company to legally hire based on appearance.
Focus on that. And then you had the models. So models, again, this was the official name for the position, but of course we were not real models, right? We weren't modeling for the company or anything like that. We were just called models. So the models were basically everybody who works visibly in front of the store. So that is people who were greeting customers at the front of the store, working the cash register, or people who were just folding in the store. And that was something that Abercrombie was very well known for. As a model, like a lot of the job really was just folding clothes. Like that's really what it was, which it was an easy as fuck job, not gonna lie guys. Like this was the easiest job that I ever had, because all you had to do was either say hello to customers, and like when I say hello to customers, I literally mean just that. Like you were not required to help them by any means. I don't know why, but I think like being arrogant was part of the job description, not literally, but like unofficially. You were not allowed to help them. Like you were only allowed to say hello to them. That was it. Like you were not allowed to like...
Employees were subjected to strict dress codes, which included wearing jeans one size too large to expose A&F branded underwear, tight-fitting shirts to emphasize chest and arm muscles, and belts worn long and suggestively dangling in front. Managers often excluded job seekers who didn't meet the company's aesthetic standards. A former manager recalled being instructed to reject a candidate simply because she didn't look the part. Another ex-manager described the emotional toll of turning away eager workers based on their appearance, lamenting, "How was it okay for such a big brand to discriminate like this for so long?" The sexualization of children's clothing in the A&F Kids line sparked nationwide outrage. The company introduced products like push-up bikini tops for girls aged 8 to 14, which parents and advocacy groups condemned as inappropriate. Although A&F removed the push-up label after backlash, they continued selling the product. Even more controversial were children's thongs featuring slogans such as "eye candy" and "wink wink." Parents described these items as a disturbing attempt to impose adult ideals onto children. In response, Jefferies defended the designs, stating, "I still think those are cute underwear for little girls. People get on a bandwagon about thongs for little girls. It's crazy." One victim, Barrett, opened up about his experience. "Did I want to kiss Mike, Jeff? No. Did I want to engage in activities in front of him? No. But I didn't say no either. This broke me." Jeffries' leadership was a roller coaster from the start. Before joining A&F, he led Alcott & Andrews, a brand that failed spectacularly. Yet, Leslie Wexner of L Brands hired him to save A&F, raising eyebrows about potential personal connections. While Jeffries initially succeeded in revamping the brand's image, he couldn't keep up with the shifting consumer tastes, refused to lower prices during the recession, and faced backlash for his $40 million annual salary. He walked away after 22 years with a $27 million retirement package, but his reputation continued to spiral. Now, Jeffries and his partner Matthew Smith face accusations of running a structured operation to exploit aspiring talent. The scheme, allegedly orchestrated with the help of recruiter James Jacobson, promised professional opportunities that were just a front for coercing victims into compromising situations. Now 80, Jeffries is looking at a potential 15 years to life in prison, but he's not backing down, pleading not guilty and insisting everything was consensual. As for Abercrombie, under new leadership, it's trying to shake off the controversy of its past. The brand has gone through a major glow-up, embracing inclusivity with expanded sizing and campaigns that speak to both millennials and Gen Z. And guess what? It worked.
Consumers still flocking to Abercrombie and Fitch. Name them. Shares rallying on Wednesday after beating profit expectations and posting strong sales in the first quarter. The company raising its full-year sales outlook as demand across apparel and accessories continues to grow.
In 2023, Abercrombie stock skyrocketed, even surpassing Nvidia's, making it to the top performer in the S&P 500. But with all this success, can the brand truly escape its shady history? Only time will tell. Meanwhile, the drama surrounding Jeffries' legal woes has set the internet on fire. Fans and critics alike are furious that it took decades for him to face consequences, especially with his age. Some even questioned if justice would have been delayed indefinitely had it not been for brave victims and whistleblowers. The backlash is fierce, with many calling out the fashion and entertainment industries for fostering a culture of systemic abuse that's been ignored for far too long. But it gets juicier that Jeffries' release on a $10 million bond with an electronic monitor has many shaking their heads. This has sparked a major debate about racial bias and the justice system, especially in comparison to Sean Diddy Combs, whose bond requests were repeatedly denied. The stark contrast between their cases has some wondering if Jeffries' wealth and status played a role in his lighter treatment, fueling more conspiracy theories and speculation about the whole thing being one big cover-up. Stay tuned because this one's far from over. But in the meantime, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Like and subscribe for more.